Hello, hello, hello. Probably about 10 p.m., whatever. What time is it down there in America? Most people watching me are in America. My channel. Oh, okay. Let's see. Is anyone watching yet? I'm watching. One person watching. Okay. Hi. How you doing? So, I wanted to go on real quick and show you how I turn an incident like this, the Will Smith and Chris Rock scandal, into an English lesson. Very powerful, useful English lesson for many, many levels. There's something. First of all, I guess I should, if anyone cares. Will Smith was an idiot to do this, but I've been discussing this with my daughter, my sister. Not mine. My son thought it was funny. My sister, my dad, my brother, and the most important thing about this is that it's really unimportant. It's just fodder, and it's taking away 5 times 5. What does that mean? It's taking away attention from the war in Ukraine, the Ketanji interviews, or the question, what do they call it? The hearings. What else? What else is important in the world? I know he just put out a public apology. Yeah, I know that. I'm up to date on this. NZ Fade. And he should have apologized because, he should. Words do not deserve violence. There's never a reason that words deserve violence unless you badmouth your mom. Then you should have this shit slapped out of you, for sure. So only moms have that right, I think. But anyway, but my personal opinion, before I get into how I do this, is Will should lose his Oscar, or maybe the fact that he apologized is enough. But definitely he should have apologized to Chris, and he did. He should have apologized that day. There's a lot of background information in case you don't know, and I don't agree, Kaio Ray, but that is one of the things that I teach. So let me show you. Let me get to that. And if anyone you want to discuss the ethics of this, we can talk about that too. But how to make a lesson about the Will Smith scandal, Will Smith, Chris Rock incident. And the other thing to remember is why should we make a lesson about this? The worst take on this was Crystal Ball on Breaking Points was, it's just a slap. A bad joke is just a bad joke. Violence is just violence. Uncle Phil would have been ashamed of him. Yeah, I agree. It's not just a slap. Okay, so first of all, there's something called flash memory. I believe that's the expression. And you might remember, I'll give you a very, very good example of this. About 20 years ago, there was a boy, a Japanese boy, who actually comes from this area, and I actually went to school with my wife. So they were in school together. He went to America. I believe it was Louisiana. I want to say Texas, but maybe Louisiana. It's kind of a Texas thing or a Florida thing, but he was trick-or-treating, and he walked up to a house, and he didn't speak English very well, but he was dressed up like, I don't remember what he was dressed up as, but of course it was Halloween, so he was dressed up strange. And the man in the house said, "Freeze." And the boy didn't understand. He thought he was saying please. And the man shot him and killed him. And that boy's name was Hattori. It's called the Hattori Incident. Hattori, I guess, maybe, I don't know. You look it up, but you should be able to find it. Anyway, as a result of that incident, everyone in Japan learned the expression freeze. And they learned the expression freeze, and that it means not just cold, but it means stop. So basically, they taught the entire country of Japan one word in English because of that incident, and everyone remembers that even today. Like, I ask my students, "What did you learn from that incident? What English?" And everyone still says, even though it's 20 years ago, they say, "Oh, freeze! I know the word freeze now because of that." So our minds easily retain information that's delivered with a shock or something, shocking or emotionally grabbing, right? So one reason to use, when you're making an English lesson, one reason to use incidents like this is because your students are going to remember. They're going to remember these very well. So the way I do this for a beginner's class, right, I'll teach something very easy. For example, right, Chris Rock joked about Will Smith's wife. And remember, I should tell you about the Japanese reaction. So Wow Wow is the equivalent of HBO in Japan, and they were showing this live when this incident happened, and because bad words don't really mean anything to Japanese people, it was shown uncensored. So when Will Smith said, keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth, you could hear everything. From what I understand, in many places it was censored. You know what they say in Japanese? They say P word, P kotoba. So P is the sound of being censored. Beep, right? So they P shita means they censored it, right? So that's kind of funny. If you say P alone, people will understand. Yeah, he looked pretty rageful. So beginner lessons, I would teach something like Chris Rock joked about Will Smith's wife. Also, I will teach the variation. Chris Rock made a joke. And for a low-level class, this is enough about Will Smith's wife, right? And then I will teach, of course, Will Smith got, I might teach this one. Will Smith laughed at first, but then he got angry. Okay, so the expression "at first" for a low-level class is perfect because that's something they need to learn. When you use "at first," you're basically teaching students that something changed. For example, at first at first I didn't like natto, but now I like natto. Okay. At first I couldn't speak English, but now I speak English. At first I couldn't read hiragana, but now I can read hiragana. So when you're teaching at first, you're teaching students that things change. And it's very useful for a low-level class. Okay, so a low-level class, I will teach these expressions, and I would probably number them on the board here like this, right? I would also teach this one. Will Smith lost his temper, right? And lose your temper is a basic low-level lesson. So that's how we teach it. Anyway, this is a low-level class, so this will take a lot of time, right? And he's supposed to be a good role model. Yeah. And he's very popular in Japan. So young minds will now think it's okay So I told my kids, they watched it, and my son said, "Oh, that was interesting." But I taught them you can never respond with violence. And my kids are only 5 years old and 7 years old, so they hit each other, And I always tell them, hey, you can't hit. And they have to apologize. You have to apologize. And they always say, oh, okay, I'm sorry. And the other person has to accept the apology. So, and that's a very typical Japanese thing. You say, gomen ne wa? So say you're sorry. And you know what's funny? We tell them to apologize. And they'll say it in English. They'll say, I'm sorry, sorry. And the other one will say, iyo, right? So Will Smith lost his temper, and then we can teach also Will Smith slapped Chris Rock. Okay, like that. So that might be the low level. Oh, you know what? You can't even see my. God damn it! I'm not even showing you. Share screen. I'm so sorry. Jesus Christ. Oh, where is it? It's not showing up as a choice. Why is this not showing up as a choice? A window. Here we go. Huh? Oh. Can you guys see that? Oh, system. Chrome has lost permission to capture your screen. Fix it. Why the hell? This StreamYard pisses me off. It's not allowing me to do things. Oh, why can't I? Oh, it's lost permission. Why the hell? This happened last time. Okay. Let me see if I can share my screen. It's stopping me from sharing the screen. Well, I got to quit and reopen. Okay, I'll be back. I think it's going to knock me out here. Oh. Oh, okay. Oh. Okay. Maybe this will work. Let's cross your fingers. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. Hey, Queen Danny Targaryen. Let's see if this screen sharing works. I've had trouble with this. Share screen. Let's try this. Oh, okay. Can you guys see that? Okay, good. So how to make a lesson about Will Smith, right? So this is how I teach. If you're teaching English in Japan, and if you're teaching Japanese too, I highly recommend you using incidents that are happening in the news that are emotionally interesting to people, because they will remember better. Like the Hattori incident 20 years ago, where he taught the word freeze. Like, I just wanted to get that out of the way there. And I wanted to show you some of the expressions in case, because you can still do this, I mean, this topic is still fresh in everyone's mind. So just a second here. I'll give you some other examples of how this can be used. I'm just going to log into this. 19 people watching. Hi, guys. Thanks for the thumbs up, by the way. Appreciate a lot of thumbs up already. That's good. Appreciate that. Okay, is this working? Yeah, okay. So that's the beginner lesson. I would teach joke about, make a joke about, laugh at, and I might pause and say laugh with as well. And then lose his temper. Now, if you want to learn Japanese, jodan, I would say karakata. Karakata means he teased him. Karakata. Jodan datta ne. Karakata, right? Karakao is to tease. Ijimeru is to bully. Waratta, warao, laugh. Kireta, loses temper. To snap, he lost his temper. And hippataita. Hippataku is to slap. Hippataku. So these are the expressions you might learn here. Now, for an intermediate class, I might step it up a little bit. By teaching, actually, I'll just make this a little shorter. Chris Rock, teased. You might use teased or bullied. And I have the students debate that. What do you think? Do you think that's teasing or bullying? Because teasing is softer than bullying, right? Teased Will Smith's wife about her hair, right? And I might say, because I might point out that Jada, what's her name? Jada Pinkette Smith, I think, shaved her hair. Because an intermediate student might not understand the word shave. Whoops, you need a big S. But these are things you can teach a student when you're teaching a viral video like this. Okay. What else would we teach? Well, I'm thinking about the lesson I did yesterday. Okay. Oh yeah. I would also teach intermediate. Yeah, I might teach. Will Smith lost his temper, and then, which is the same as a low-level class, because they probably know that already. Or Will Smith lost his composure, right? And then you go into the idioms, right? I'm talking about how I would teach English, right? If you're going to teach English, you have to branch out. One good way when you're teaching a class is when you pick up an idiom is pick up related expressions, like to lose one's composure, and then we teach the expressions to keep one's composure, and then to regain, right? To regain one's composure. I would teach all these expressions. And on the advanced level, For the advanced, I would review all the Shokyu, beginner and intermediate level expressions, and then I would teach idioms like he lost his cool, right? He kept his cool. I'm trying to think of the lesson I did yesterday. I might actually have it. Hold on. Is it in here? Oh, I actually might have. Oh, he smacked the shit out of him. He kicked the shit out of him. Oh, yes. Otis, he smacked, slapped, punched, kicked, and beat the shit. Oh, the crap and or shit out of somebody. Hey, Electrojet, how you doing, man? Out of somebody. I would, well, we'll do him in this case. So I would teach expressions like this. And if you really want to step it up a little bit, if you have an advanced student, you have to be creative and start teaching things. For example, it was staged. Yeah, it was staged. Or you can also talk about Chris Rock's joke, right? That joke was a cheap shot. The expression cheap shot means an easy joke to make, right? That's a cheap shot. That's a cheap shot. Yeah. And yeah, I'm getting to that part. And or we can also do, if it's very advanced, that joke was low hanging fruit. And of course, these take time to teach. So as I'm doing this quickly, just to show you the expressions I would use. But using your imagination, you can pick up a lot of great vocabulary and expressions and idioms to teach out of a little video like this, right? Electro Jed, man, I haven't seen you forever. Christ, like 15 years. Good to see you, man. Okay, so, and of course, I don't know how I would say. I would just say, I don't use Japanese as much as I can in the classroom, but I do physically stand up and say that when you're picking fruit or apples or oranges from a tree, the ones at the bottom are the easiest to get. Right. Now the expression, don't talk about, I would start this way, don't talk about me, right? Keep my name out of your mouth. I would slowly make it, when you're teaching, I think it's important to begin with very, very basic sentences with the most basic parts of the sentence, just the subject, just the verb, and even avoid the object if you can avoid it. If it's an intransitive verb and you don't need an object, then drop the object, drop all the flares, right? So very simple. Teaching this expression, the one that you just asked me about in the comments, keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth. That I would teach, but I would also be very careful about how I teach it. And it depends on the class. Like I wouldn't teach that to high school kids. So don't talk about me, I would begin. So students understand what I'm saying. And then I would put equal signs, right? Keep my name out of your mouth. Equals, don't talk about me. Then to make it a little bit higher, keep my wife's name, a little bit more complicated, right? Slightly more complex. Keep my wife's name out of your mouth. But don't talk about my wife's name. So this is a little bit different. Don't talk about my wife's name. I would change that a little bit, right? Then the extra flair, I would copy the sentence here so they could see. By the way, I use computers and monitors in my classroom. So I have a keyboard on one side of the room, and there's a big screen. There's a 27-inch screen on the other side. And then I would I'll type with a Wi-Fi connected keyboard, and so they can see exactly what I'm doing right now. They can see that on the board. So that's my whiteboard. I do have a whiteboard too, but I use the computer more often because it's faster, it's clearer, and at the end of the day, at the end of the class, I can just I can print out my lesson on the screen, on the printer, and give students copies of the lesson. So they get all the notes, you know. They don't have to take notes if they don't want to. Of course, they do take notes, some of them, but sometimes I say, don't take notes, just listen. Right? Now, the next part of this, I would teach, keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth. I will teach that, but I will put this in parentheses, and I will tell students, this is a very bad word. In English, do not use this word. But because in Japan, the word fuck is known to people, but they don't really understand they don't feel guilty when they say it. Like if you say fuck in English, you kind of know, oh, that's a bad word. So when Will Smith yelled that out, that kind of like everyone kind of flinched a little bit, at least psychologically. What is this? I don't know if you want to teach snitches get stitches, maybe too dark. Snitches, but nobody snitched. I wouldn't know how to use that in this context. I've booked to see Chris Rock in May. Great. That's great. Chris Rock was a real professional. Oh yeah, so I talked about keeping your composure. I taught the expression, he kept his composure, right? And I taught that Will Smith lost his composure. I also taught Jada Pinkette, I'll just put Jada to be quick. Jada rolled her eyes at the joke. And the rolling eyes thing is also very cultural. So when you're teaching English, you want to make sure they also understand the culture, right? Rolling your jokes is a big insult. When someone says something and you roll your eyes at them, you're basically saying what you said is stupid or childish or silly. You're basically insulting them with that gesture, right? And I even showed them on their iPhones how you can type in the emoji, right? Roll eyes, and you will get eyeballs coming out, right? Is it Jada? Jada? Thank you, Jada. Of course, I knew that. So anyway, this is what I did yesterday. Let me see if there's any other things I taught. Cheap joke, low-hanging fruit, rolled her eyes. Oh, I taught, of course, for the basic class up here, the beginning class. I also taught this basic English. Will Smith was nominated for an Oscar for Best Actor. So this is a difficult pattern for them, but one that's very common they'll see again and again. He was nominated for an Oscar. And I also do this one because this confuses them. Will Smith played Richard Williams in the movie King Richard. I'll explain to them, in this movie, there's a man named Richard Williams, and Will Smith plays that role. At first, they're confused. Why play? Play means to have fun. They don't understand that play also means to perform. So then I teach them that expression. And that's for a low-level class. Let me see what else. I also teach that for the high-level class or intermediate class, I might teach this expression over here. Chris Rock is fast on his feet. Because they have this expression in Japanese, atama no kaiten ga hayai. I did not teach that Chris Rock looks like a cuck. I thought Chris Rock did the right thing, What are you going to do? And then if you watch the video, it's very interesting. I mean, English teaching aside, Chris Rock, at first I thought it was faked, and I was looking for where did the sound come from, right? I thought maybe he was doing this. What's his name? Will Smith was doing this, right? No, I haven't seen Drive My Car yet. Yeah. No, I just saw it. Richard Copeland, yeah. I saw the apology. Richard Copeland, is that the comedian from England? I saw the apology. He should apologize. What he did was not acceptable. You can't stand up and hit people because they say shit. Period. Anyway, fast on his feet is the equivalent in Japanese. Atama no kaiten ga hayai is the expression. So it's very useful, and there's something they can quickly understand. And they say a lot in Japanese, like somebody's quick on their feet, because Japanese comedians are also quick on their feet. That's something people are often praised for. No, it's a different guy. Okay. You know what? If Will Smith, if that thing is staged, if that scene was staged, then Will Smith does deserve the Oscar, because that was an amazing performance. I mean, that he really did look angry. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I saw it. It's really hilarious. So I don't know if you guys saw this on Twitter. If you follow my Twitter, give me a break, man. I found a clip on Reddit of Will Smith making fun of another guy who has alopecia about 20 years ago. And he's talking about every day he's got to wake up and wax his head. And people booed him. He goes, that's just a joke, right? So, did you see the news? Do you know Chris Rock? Example questions to ask for simple conversation. Yes, Randy Broski. Very good. Yeah. In fact, that's how I begin the class. Did you see the news? And many students had seen the news already because it was all over Japanese media. Even my students who don't watch, who are not interested in I have one student who's very serious, high school student who's just got into university, very good university. All he does is study. Like he studies like literally 12 hours a day. He just got into university, so he was taking it easy. But even he had seen the news. So I begin the class with, "Did you see the news? Or do you watch the Oscars? Or are you interested in the Oscars?" They don't understand Oscars. Sometimes I have to say the Academy Awards. But anyway, it's a great opportunity for you to teach English, to use something like this, or if you're teaching some other language. Using these kind of viral moments are kind of ingrained in everyone's memory, and people will remember this. So you can pick up that vocabulary and those idioms and those expressions, and connect that with that, and make them, emotional connection with that incident, and they'll remember much better. Oh, Randy Broski, yeah, exactly. I always act as if I don't know much. I play dumb too sometimes. So I don't really know, but yeah, tell me about that. So even if I know about something, I ask them, and I pretend I don't know to get them to talk. Never heard of that idiom before. What idiom are you talking about, Kana World? What idiom? What idiom is Kana World talking about? I'm not sure. I went too quick. I haven't seen Drive My Car yet, but I'd like to see that. I usually use those bad words in English when I'm raging, but I never use any bad Japanese words when I lived in Japan. You live in America now. Okay. Yeah, those words are pretty bad. You shouldn't. You know what's funny about Japanese students is I've seen high school kids do the middle finger to each other. And even my kids learned this I was really surprised in kindergarten. This Filipino girl, she's half Filipino, she came to school and she taught all the kids this. And she taught them that it was shine, which means to die, which is basically in Japanese, the expression shine, pronounced shine. That's the pronunciation, okay? In hiragana, of course, you would say, shine in hiragana. But anyway, this is basically, literally, die. But figuratively, or conversationally, I always say, I would equivalate. I would say that is the equivalent. Equivalate. That's not a word. That is the equivalent of. Okay. I do teach them that's what it means. So you should never do it. You should never put the middle finger up to somebody because you can get in serious trouble, right? Atama no kaiten ga hayai. That's are you not a native speaker? Kinda, I thought you were Japanese with that word, with that name. Let me see. Oh, you know what? Maybe I'm wrong about that word. Yeah, go F yourself, yeah. What? I'm pretty sure that's an expression. Yeah, atama no kaiten is, yeah. Brain traffic. Oh, you know what? You wrote the different kanji. This is the kanji. Atama no kaiten ga hai, by the way, is this kanji. Okay. That's fast on one's feet. Atama no kaiten ga hayai. This means to be fast on your feet. Eye rolling as I think culturally it doesn't exist. Like this, I don't think people. People don't do it as much. I don't. I'm not positive about that. Eye rolling, yeah. No, what's in the dictionary? Rolling of the eyes, but I don't know if it's that. No, it's a medical condition. It does say, you know what? It says when you're, yeah, keibetsu no akiratame. It actually explains it in Japanese. Yeah, it doesn't. There's no expression in Japanese for it. Oh, by the way, speaking of this incident, so I was talking to my sister about this, and she says that a lot of this issue is considered by some people to be a black issue, and that white people or non-blacks, like I'm a non-black, I'm not exactly white, but should not even be commenting. This is a black person's issue, so don't talk about this. It's their world. You have no right to make any opinion about this. I've really enjoyed this whole. Yeah, I've really enjoyed this whole incident though, and the way people react. Unfortunately, it is taking away from really much more important problems in the world, like the war in Ukraine and Ketanji. What's her name? Ketanji Smith? No, is her name Ketanji Smith? I forgot her name. Ketanji Brown. Another boring name, but Ketanji Brown Jackson, right? Her hearings. So let me see. Yeah, and a lot of people said, oh, in the black world, slapping is no big deal. And it was an open slap. So if he was really mad, he would have punched him. So it's okay. I was impressed with the way Chris Rock handled himself, though. He didn't put his hand, he didn't even touch his face. If someone slapped you, you usually go, wow. You go like, oh, that hurt. Or you touch, you just touch. It's kind of almost a instinctive reaction to touch your face after you've been hit, right? You know what's also funny? Will E.T. go home? There was a study many years ago at I think it was New York University, where they gauged which group of people, black men compared to black women, which one reacted quick or was quicker to violence when confronted with verbal assaults. I don't know how they did this study, but apparently the result of the study, and of course this is one study, and who knows if it was ever replicated or held up by other studies, but the consensus of the scientists or of the study was the result was that black people are slower to anger and to resort to violence when they're being verbally assaulted. So white people, in a way, you could argue, have thinner skin. And I put it on my Facebook. I asked people what they thought, and of course, one white guy was like, "Oh, I thought he should have hit him." Right? But if you ask me, there's just no reason to hit anybody for being verbal with you, no matter what they say. Even if they really insult your wife, you just walk away. You ignore them. You ridicule them. You condemn them, but you don't hit them. So Will Smith was right to apologize. He did apologize. So obviously he agrees. But I still think he should either be banned from the Oscars next year. They should take away his Oscar this year. But definitely that should not be acceptable. And Chris Rock, amazing, man. He didn't clench his fist. He didn't flinch, and he was great. We would be killed in the past. Rock was expecting something playful. Yeah. I think he was really surprised. But it's also important to point out, simp. I should have taught Will is a simp, right? It's also thanks. Hey, Don Sapansky. Thank you. That's a difficult name to say. Translation of alopecia? I don't know. Let me. I think it's the same, but let me check. Alopecia. I think it says dagebio. I'm not sure how to pronounce this. So this is what the dictionary says for alopecia. Of course, the first kanji here means to pull, to take out. The second kanji here means hair, and this kanji byo means sickness. There is, in Japan, when people get stressed out, Datsumo-sho. Oh, really? It's sho. Oh, that's not byo. I'm sorry. Byo is a different kanji. I mixed it up with this one. This is byo. This is byo. Very similar kanji. Oh, I made a mistake there. Okay, this is datsu. I'll put it in different. I'll put spaces so you can see the kanji difference. Datsumo-sho is alopecia. And it's interesting to point out that this is not the first time Chris Rock has made jokes about Janet, no, what's her name? Jada Smith. Jada, right? What's the kid Smith? What's the boy's name? I forgot his name. He's got some weird name too. Well, weird for me. I shouldn't say weird. Culturally weird. I'm showing my whiteness or my non-blackness. Is there a pronouns icon to click? The pronunciation of Spanish, no, there isn't. The pronunciation of Spanish is the same as Japanese. So that's datsu mo sho, and the vowels never change. So once you get the vowels down, Japanese pronunciation is very easy. Jaden, right? Jaden. So Jaden, you saw Jaden's post. He said, "Oh, yay, that's the way we do it," or something like that. But someone wrote, "Isn't it nice that Will Smith stood up for his son's friend's girlfriend?" Because apparently Jaden Smith is friends with one of the guys has had sexual relations with Jada Smith. Anyway, yeah, well, he's a bit weird. I've seen him wearing like skirts. And my son and daughter, we were in the pharmacy the other day, and a man walked in, kind of a cool guy. He's kind of punky, and he's wearing a big skirt and some like punk, like, you know, those leather bracelets with spikes sticking out of them. And, you know, just some cool kid, whatever, no big deal. I did that when I was young. I had a mohawk when I was young, you know, no big deal. You probably can't believe that, but I did. I went through that punk phase. But my kids saw that. They were like, "Oh, Dad, there's a man over there wearing," because he had a beard too. So there's a man over there wearing a skirt. And they were like following him around trying to get a peek at him. And I was like, "Kids, it's okay. Sometimes men want to wear skirts, you know." But that conversation is going to come to me soon. I'm going to have to start explaining what are trans people, what are gay people. I'm watching old episodes of that show. What's it called? Shameless. And I think in season 2 or 3, one of the younger kids starts realizing that what gay people do, and he's fascinated. He's like, "What? They kiss each other's peepees?" You know, it's really bizarre. Jada used to be Tupac's girlfriend. Oh, really? Wow. Yeah, you know what? The other, it's just a screwy thing, the whole masculinity thing. Anyway, I wanted to make a video about, what's her name? Leah Thomas, the trans swimmer, and talk about that. It's not related to Japan, but many of my students are in the athletic world as either coaches or actual athletes, and that does become an issue. There are a lot of lesbians and trans and gays in sports actually that are closeted here in Japan. I shouldn't say a lot, but but they exist. But they're mostly closeted here. You don't see them come out. Anyway, but I will say that this was a really fun. Maybe that's not the right word, but it was really an interesting incident, and I think we're going to be hearing a lot about it in the next few days. Anyway, that's how I teach a lesson like this, and I thought I would just share that with you because I thought the thing about this is if you're creative and you use your imagination, you can pull lots of expressions out of a short, because it's just like a 1-minute video, right? Maybe a minute and a half. You can pull a lot of information out, a lot of English out of this, and create a whole class, a whole 1-hour class can be taught just on this one incident. So, anyway, I got to keep this quick. I got to take my kids to school because they're on vacation now, so they go to a kind of well, my daughter goes to nursery school, so, and my son goes to some kind of it's not a daycare, but it's like an after-school program, but that's available when school's out. Okay, guys, I gotta go. But thanks for watching. Thanks for the thumbs up. Appreciate it. My name is Victor. I usually comment about Japanese things. I'm a teacher in Japan, but I also do a lot of other stuff. Owned bars, managed rock and roll bands, and other things that I don't talk about on camera because it's none of your business. A father of 2, loving husband. Maybe I'm a cuck too, but no, I do my best to help my wife out. She's got a pretty tough life. We got 2 little kids running around. It's pretty exhausting. Anyway, but I'm enjoying my life. I hope you guys are too. Hope everyone has a great evening wherever you are. Most of you, I think it's evening where you are. And thanks for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Broadcast over. End broadcast. End broadcast. End broadcast.